Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Mm-hmm. The hell? Mm-hmm. I don't remember what planet I was on. So many people in the fleet. I guess that's better than an empty fleet. Having too many. If there's anybody who's watching on For the Win Broadcasting, unfortunately, I can't exactly read what you guys are typing. It's on a 5 to 10 minute delay. It's not For the Win Broadcasting's fault. It's not my fault or Star Wars. It's literally how live television works on YouTube. It's just on a very long delay to read what you're saying. So if I catch a comment, great. If I don't, that's why. Directive 7 for the first time. What an odd instance. Yeah, Directive 7 is a long, long, long instance. Like really a long instance. And there's a lot of dialogue there. You would think that in an instance where you're fighting machines, that the dialogue would be, relatively short, brief, kind of to the point. You end up having, let's see, one, two, you end up having like 7 conversations between going from the first boss to the last boss, which isn't, if you're into, the lore, doing it the very first time, it's not bad. But by the sixth time you've done it, you're like, wow, I really wish they would shut up. Um, I've always been one of the people who have advocated, like, the story is what makes Star Wars fun. But as time goes on, I kind of want them to add an option to uh, skip the dialogue. Even if it was like, hey, you can't skip the dialogue until you've gone through here one time, or it has to be a group decision. I wish to skip all dialogue choices, something to that effect for repeated instances would be fine. For instance, False Emperor. I have no interest in talking to the guy who turns on HK 47 again. Like I have no interest in talking to him for the 100th time. So that question: when I get the right amount of black hole comms, would you replace any ricotta for black hole or just the ear implants? I would start with the ear and implants, the earpiece and implants, and after I'm done with that, then I would move on to the other stuff. Just because it's black hole doesn't make it automatically better than your ricotta stuff. The ricotta stuff is good depending on the stats you're looking for. So if you're looking for like surge or crit rating or whatever, uh, sometimes the ricotta is better. So I would hold off on just immediately throwing it away and saying, "Oh, that's it's shitty because it's not a black hole." And the load screen. That's something also that they kind of need to work on. There's a lot of loading screens in this game, a lot of loading screens. So um, I don't know if that's perhaps some of the charm that is missing from this game that you had in World of Warcraft. World for the most part was seamless. At least the continents were. So if I was on uh, whatever I can't remember where they are. If I was in Northrend, right, all of Northrend was seamless. I mean, albeit simply one continent out of many, but still that one continent was seamless. I could go wherever I wanted to, right then, and I am lagging like a fat bitch in real life. So that's something that they might want to look at. Every time I go somewhere, I don't want to load screen. Like literally everywhere I go, there's a load screen. Yeah, the whole thing about the orbital station where I am right now is that this was meant to be a hub for the planet, right? Like there's room here for the vendors, right? There was supposed to be vendors in this little hallway. There was supposed to be vendors over here, stuff that was specific to this planet. A cantina in a corner. It was supposed to basically be the place where if you liked Hoth, this is the place you could hang out. This would have all the amenities that the fleet would have. And what they found out kind of too late is that when you got to these places or whatever, most people didn't want to hang out on Hoth, or Tatooine or whatever. They just wanted to hang out where everyone was. Just like in World of Warcraft, I could go and hang out in the Night Elf main city, but most people aren't going to hang out in the Night Elf city. They're going to go to Orgrimmar, or they're going to go to Stormwind. They're going to go hang out where everyone is, because you want to interact. And so they found out if you had a station above it, the population was just spread out everywhere, that there wasn't a place to hang out. And so they kind of took all the stuff out on the orbital stations or whatever. So it kind of sucks. I understand why they did it. I wish they had just taken them out altogether, but beggars can't be choosers. You know what? Maybe I will character perks. Some is okay. Character perks are loading. I have to get a new graphics card. It takes me way too long to load up in this game. So what are these battlegrounds? Oh, this is something that people were bitching and moaning about the other day, and this is why I can't get it right. You have your family tree, you have your global unlocks, right? Unlocks for literally every character on your account. The species, the alignments, all of this stuff is available for every character on your account. I'm like, global unlocks. It's clearly labeled. 2, people started bitching and moaning because there are character perks, but if you hover over it, it says only available to current character when unlocked. It says character perks. It even tells you it's on this particular character, and people are still whining about virtually nothing. I don't quite get it, but hey, what can I say? The internet is not full of rational people. At least you can mount them. Yeah, that's true. Am I like playing porn in the background? What's going on? Yeah, crying fucked it up or whatever. But the whole thing is that crying was like, okay, I messed up, big deal, right? And kind of just resolved himself to say, all right, well, at least in the future, all the stuff that I did buy for this character that can't currently use it, in the future, this is going to be worthwhile. And I'm like, great. That means that Crying is like, all right, I messed up. I didn't pay attention. Big deal. And moved on from there. But there's so many people on the forums crying, oh, they didn't tell me. They should have told me. I'm like, you can read. Why did they need to tell you? It was all over the forums for weeks. It was over the patch notes. It's on the game. It tells you before you buy it. It warns you, hey, this is only for this character. And people are still crying, oh, I can't believe it. Oh, GG, Bioware. Just the amount of crying is amazing. I'm liking 1.3. This is like, for instance, right now I'm queued up for Flashpoint, right? I don't have to look for anybody or anything, whatever. I queue tank. I'm kind of at a weird level. I'm 37, so kind of at a weird level of what I really expect to get an instant pop. But if I was on my 50, with a tank, it's instant, just like World of Warcraft. Um, yeah, the only thing that I kind of wish is that it was cross realm, and that they would kind of fix the looting options just a little bit. Everyone eventually will run into someone who's quote unquote a ninja looter, and that's cool. That's fine. It's part of the internet. It's part of playing an MMO. There are some people who just do not give two squirts of piss about anybody but themselves, and that's cool. It's the way the world is. Um, and so I was running an instance the other day where a double-bladed tanking lightsaber dropped. I was the tank, and I was the only person that could use a double-bladed lightsaber. And some other jagoff was like, "Oh wow, yoink!" And I was just like, "It has defense in it. Why you the mods? First off, you can't hold the weapon." And I'm like, "Okay, well maybe he'll rip out the mods." But the mods have defense stats on it. So I'm like, so you literally took that just to be a dick. Okay, I'll tell Lurker to make you one. But I was like, wow, just to be a dick or whatever. So whatever. And if it was cross realm, I'm sure it would be much worse than what it currently is. But I would like to see it cross realm, the dungeon finder, just so someone at my level, 37, doesn't have to wait 45 minutes, an hour, to get a dungeon pop. Because there are only going to be so many people who are of my level, period, of my level range. And then two, how many of those are realistically interested in doing a dungeon at 9 o'clock in the morning? So that's my whole beef with that is if it was cross realm, I wouldn't have to wait, and it's just a convenience thing. And it's really, I mean, in the scheme of things, it's really not that big a deal. Because it's not like any of the gear that I'm getting from here that I'll be able to say, oh, buddy, I won't ever get an upgrade to that. Fire in the hole. Oh, God. Yeah, but that's realistically all I guess my complaint would be, is that I would like it to be cross realm, but since it's not, it's really not that big a deal. Um, where the hell am I headed to? Up and around. How dare you level that Hoff? Um, well, Penny, you're ahead of me. I got to catch up. I've been meaning to do this for like 2 days. I guess I'll kill something, warm up for the day. Oh my god, am I lagging? I'm lagging like a fat kid in real life. It's not the game, by the way. It's my video settings, I guess. Yeah, it's my video settings. I got stuff turned way up that I shouldn't have turned up. Believe it or not, having the grass in this game turned up is not necessarily a good idea, depending on what you're doing. All right, let me go ahead and fix that. Preferences, graphics. Yeah, grass quality. Um, just go ahead and turn that down. And the lag now magically goes away. Yeah, your computer must be a beast because the grass will destroy my game. They also made it easier to distinguish what mob you're attacking, like the little red arrow. I know that's such a big improvement, but it's easy to see what you're attacking with the little red arrow over your head. Oh, me, what's the problem now? Jesus Christ. I turned off my grass. Alright, let me see one more time. Preferences. Alright, we'll do that. Turned. Yeah, I'd like to have my shit turned up, but that's not gonna happen, Grind. I don't know what kind of graphics card I'm gonna get. I think I might get the $300 one that you linked earlier. I might get that one since that looks. Wow, come on. All right, there we go. Let's see if that's any better. Nope, I'm turning that shit back up. That makes my eyes bleed. Turn off my shadows. That's what it is. And maybe I guess I'll queue up for some PvP. I don't know how well that's going to work out with what I'm wearing, but apparently a space thong is what you need to succeed in this game. Oh, those are shadows. Well, that will teach me. And so, oh, by the way, they finally fixed the Char that she's not invisible. That makes me happy. She now wears like this Gucci bodysuit underneath it, which I think is kind of funny. But whatever. Oh, rats. That's actually pretty nice. I'd like to hit 40. I'd like to hit 40 today, and I'd catch up. I'd be right on par with my Warriors, which is 41. So, yeah, but whatever card I get next has to be more powerful than two 4870s. I assume just about anything I buy would be more powerful. And at noon, I guess I got a phone call I gotta go make. And as far as the choice of music goes, I know it's not Big Booty Bitches like I normally play, but it is stuff that is copyright free since I'm streaming on For the Win. I haven't streamed over there for like 2 weeks because of all the shenanigans going on with getting intensity up and running and all that stuff. So, and I'm free. Fuck. Yeah, so if anybody's thinking about picking up SWTOR, or you had it once upon a time and you're like, oh, I hate this game, blah blah blah, they fixed most of the problems. Anything at this point that needs to be fixed is realistically not a fixed problem, or something that is a glitch or a broken game mechanic. It's more of a want. For instance, looking for group is in, but I want it to be cross realm. I mean, if that's my biggest concern, is that looking for group is not cross realm, I think we're in pretty good shape. The fuck is that? Oh, now see, if this is a PvP server, he would have got murdered. Or not. That is a lot of Jedi running by. That is a lot of Jedi running by. Okay. Glad that this is not a PvP server. Exactly. No! Yeah, if the worst offender is there's no cross realm looking for group, I think we're all right. And I think now that people have had time to play the game, stop, come back, I hope expectations are more reasonable now. I think a lot of people aren't really mad at the game in terms of what the game has, but more along the lines of they're upset with the stuff that they want in the game. Like, I want to play this race, a Togruta. Uh, if you ever watched the Clone Wars TV series for kids or whatever, there's a Anakin Skywalker. His Padawan is a Togruta. If you play The Force Unleashed, one of the Jedi you have to hunt down is a Togruta. Um, and Ahsoka and Ashara and all that. So I've always liked that race, and it's not available for play. I think it will be, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be available sooner rather than later. And I'm sure that they're going to have some sort of race change option available. Why? Because race changes make money, and EA and BioWare are about making money. So if there's the ability that on my account services page to offer some sort of service, such as paid character transfers, like those are in the works, and people are like, oh, I can't go to the server I want to. Give it a minute, guys. Give it a minute. They're trying to go ahead and spread people out across the servers for the free transfers, and once that's done, they're going to be like, oh, now the populations are fairly, stable. Now we can offer people the ability to go to the server they want to go to. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've played on 2 different servers. There is no difference. There is no difference between playing on this server and playing on another one. The people are the same, the behavior is the same, the quality is the same. I mean, in terms of PvP, it might be different. Like if I wanted to go play on the Fat Man, for instance, which everyone seems to think is the best thing since sliced bread. Yeah, it might be different than, let's say, the Prophecy of the Five. I don't know. The Prophecy of the Five is like stupid full too, so. I think I'm gonna have to get out of this look for group thing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to leave queue because I don't want to have to get teleported out of this bitch. But yeah, I think most of what's wrong with the game at this point are wants instead of absolute needs. The forums would tell you otherwise, that people swear doom is upon SWTOR, but it's not. It's not. Heck, I wanted to Gruder. Expectations will not be reasonable. I think that Ms. Monica, and I think the thing is that now that people have played it and they've kind of reeled in their expectations, like BioWare let this game get hyped out of proportion, and it did nothing but bite them in the ass. And that's the same thing that's happening with Guild Wars 2. And realistically, what they should have done is they should have come out and been like, hey, we think our game is great. We think you're going to love it. We think you're going to buy it. But let me go ahead and let you know. It is World of Warcraft in space. And once you get over that fact and you're like, it's World of Warcraft in space with some mini games thrown in, it's not a bad game. It's a graphically and aesthetically superior World of Warcraft, but that's where it ends. I mean, that's all there is to it. So I think the last couple of days we've been trying to back to the races thing that are available in the game. Last couple of days we've been kind of comparing the idea of what races could be available in this game anytime soon. And we stopped and we said, well, if we were at BioWare and we were going to go ahead and just offer a couple new races to see what people want to play, what could we offer in the game that's already here? So the criteria are: it has to have a male and female model. 2, it has to already be in game. So like the Cathar are announced, the Cathar are already in the game. They're male and female. 3, they have to be able to use the Force and use tech. So you can't have a race that does not have any Force sensitivity. Aside from that, it has to have a human face, meaning if you saw Princess Leia should be able to make out with the male counterpart of this race. And so we came up with the Voss, the Cathar, the Togruta, and the Chagrian. And that's basically where the list ends. There's really nothing else in the game already that fits those criteria. Ooh, that's actually nice. I'm looking forward to playing some Secret World. I'm going to do Katana and Blood Magic. So if you guys can think of another race that fits those requirements that are in the game, please let me know. I've really been, racking my brain thinking, well, what else is in the game? What else is in the game that they could add? And that's it. And the Voss is even kind of on the fence because it's going to take so much work to do the body paint. Unless it's just face paint that the Voss have. I'm not sure. Oh, there are no servers, Penny. It's a mega server with shards. So you log in and you go to instance, 5 or instance 13 or whatever. So it's just one big server, which is nice. Now, mind you, I'm getting this information from KitKat, so it could be a little askew. I love KitKat to death. KitKat can be a ditz. So we'll find out. Oh God, impossible. God, I want there to be cross realm. I want there to be cross realm for one reason and one reason alone. Because when I want to do and I'm responding to B Runner, he said this earlier, that he didn't want cross realm. The only reason I want it is because when I want to do a dungeon, I want to do a dungeon. I don't want to stand around. I don't want to do something else. I want to do the dungeon. I want to do it right this second. So that's my only thing about cross realm. That's the only reason I really like it. No, I'm not playing the Guild Wars 2 stress test. It's not that I don't like Guild Wars 2. It's that I'm trying to reserve all of my judgment for that game closer to release. And I've got a sneaking suspicion it's going to be around Thanksgiving. They may even do a Black Friday release of it. Yeah, that's the only reason I'm not really getting into Guild Wars 2 is because I don't want to ruin it for myself. That when the game goes live, I'm already burnt out because I played literally everything I could during the beta. I know some people would disagree with that assessment or that idea, but I personally think that if you really want to give a game a fair shake, that's realistically what you have to do. That playing the beta is not a or an accurate representation of what the end game or the game is going to be. So I'm not doing the stress test, unfortunately. That and I want to play the plant people. And last I checked, they are not available, and that makes me sad. Makes me sad in the pants. Uh oh. God damn it, Ashara. That's right. The guy who CC'd, break that. I can't remember what they're called or whatever, but they were supposed at first they were like woodland elves or whatever. They were like forest elves, and the people at ArenaNet said that's not good enough. That's not different enough. So they are literally plants. They're like talking, moving plants. They look like humans, but their skin is made out of leaves or foliage or whatever. The hair is made out of moss. And I thought like, wow, that looks really, really good. So I'm thinking that's the race I'm going to do. Like I like the char, but I really like the male char, and that goes against my rule of MMOs, which is I do not play male characters. So I will actually make one male character in Guild Wars 2, and he will be a char engineer named Sprocket, not Sprocket, SPRWOCK, Sprocket, SPWORCKT. Um, because I like the idea of my engineer being mildly retarded. Makes me giggle. Admiral Akbar, yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. Oh, Silvari or whatever. Uh, but the Mon Calamari, I don't ever think we'll see them. I don't, at least not now. Maybe later on if they do like a patch, um, and they add race, like alien races, maybe. I love these little blue people. Why did I even let him say that? I should just decapitated him right there. Crap, crap, crap. Come on. Yay, interrupts. There we go. Let's do this easy. The Nikto, that's a good race. That's a good race. I hadn't thought about that, Nato. That's a great race. It's they kind of look like a more scaly version of Zabrax. They look kind of alien. They look kind of alien, but they have an alien face. The male and female counterparts are already in game. They have a level of customization to them, color wise, skin tone wise. That's a good race. Yeah, that works. It's fine, B. Why not? Takes a competitive wage with cheap overtime. Oh god, I love this dude. We can of course work out the contract a little later. I love those little guys. Those are awesome little blue elephants. That's amazing. And, uh, um, I don't know if that's rating time. Is it 8? Nah, it's fine. I mean, nah, it's fine. It should be fine. It's like 6 or something. I'm not sure. Crap. Crap on a stick. You know what? I'm so used to doing this with a healer companion or a tank companion that getting low on HP like this scares the unholy crap out of me. And why won't he die? Shit, that was close. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's absolutely fine time. Oh boy, God, I love these little blue people. They are fun. They are fun because they're all smart asses, which makes me happy. All right, I don't have anything else in here to do. Good, I can leave. Yay. Um, yeah, they would make great companions. I love it. Now, that's something also that people were talking about, saying, like in an expansion, that they would like this game to be, and this is a personal thing, I would like the game to be more Dragon Age, more Mass Effect. I think two companions talking to each other as I quest or whatever, and talking about the interactions and the choices I've made in the story would be really fun. Um, Liking Dragon Age 2, Fenris and Isabella. Fenris and Isabella kind of get along because they're both bastards. Um, and it was interesting to have them around, but then having Anders and uh, whatever the chick's name is, I can't remember. She was the elf. I cannot remember her name, but anyway, she liked blood magic, or didn't see a problem with it, and Anders abhorred it. Like seeing those two in a party and just bitching at each other the whole time was great. Um, and I would like to see that in this game. I mean, there's no reason we can't have it. Would it require some rebalance to the idea of what people are capable of doing on their own? Sure. Would it possibly require them to change the party size from 4 to 5? Yeah. But I think overall that's probably a more interesting and obviously complex idea. I'd also like to see out of Dragon Age you were able to customize your companion's AI. I would like to see something like that where I can tell my companion, uh, if there are 3 or more enemies, I need you to do this. If there are 2 or more enemies and I'm at 50% health, you do this and you do that. That would be more fun and more Star Wars like than what the game currently has. And can I open that chest? Yes, I can. Holocron Mastership. Meryl, that was her name, Meryl. Um, they would have to adjust the difficulty for certain. They would have to adjust it. Oh my god, this is such a mistake. Wow, I do not lose force. Oh, they keep getting HP back. That's bullshit. I'm like, I know I should be dead. That's bull. All right. Anyway, yeah, HK51. I'm interested in seeing it. Whatever. I just don't know when. I know he's not, or I assume he's not in this patch. I haven't heard otherwise. So do I? I can't use another one yet. Um, but yeah, that's. I would like to see more stuff like that in the game. More interaction between my companions. More story with my companions. I don't know if if the increase in level cap is exactly that. I would hope that's what it is. That the increase in level cap. I'm assuming it's going to go to 60. I couldn't imagine them just saying like 5 levels worth of story. I'm assuming it's going to be 10. I want them to flesh out the companions I have more, and any new companion that I would get, I want them to flesh them out as well. So, same-sex romance. Um, Something that kind of pissed me off. Stoll went to E3 with Dual Shockers, and she had the opportunity to talk to Daniel Erickson and ask him about the same-sex romance arcs, which we were fucking promised. We were promised that. Now, whether or not that promise was an indication of our current companions were going to all of a sudden open themselves up to new possibilities, or we were going to get a new set of companions that were either gay or bisexual. I'm not entirely sure, um, but I'm excited about it either way because I I play female characters, but I'm not comfortable with the idea of my character making out with Chester Cheeto or Skadge or Torian. It's just something like, ooh, I don't want to watch it. It's like watching Matthew McConaughey make out with your sister. It's something just not quite kosher about it. So, um, so I'd like to see that maybe that's what they meant, that the new companions were going to be bisexual or gay. Which I don't know how well that would work as far as a PR thing is concerned, because if you made all of your companions bisexual, the new ones in that patch, no matter what else you put in that patch, it's going to be referred to as the gay patch. Um, I mean, they could put in 3 new raids, 5 new war zones, free roam space combat, and 8 more races in that same patch, and it's still going to be referred to as the gay patch. So I don't know if that's the wisest decision, and it's definitely not the most cost effective. But the reason he said that they wouldn't be, or it would be wrong to alter how the characters are, is because it wouldn't ring true to how the writers wrote. It wouldn't be fair to the character. I'm like, it's a fictional character, dipshit. Rainbow Pride patch. Yeah, so said the future campaigns. Okay, I can go along with that. I can go along with future campaigns, but in any case, I think it would probably just be cheaper. I mean, Mako's reaction to a male bounty hunter's advances could be the same as a female. All you have to do is possibly get Mako's voice actor back in and have her record like 3 or 4 lines. Get the female bounty hunter to alter her lines. Instead of talking to Torian, she's talking to Mako. I mean, it just seems like that would be the cheaper route. You don't even have to alter the animations or anything, really. I mean, maybe you have to alter the heights. I don't know. Maybe that's a big deal. Um, she's already doing more lines. Oh, good. Uh oh. Uh oh. No. No, my PvP. No, I'm not PvP. Nice. Nice. I survived that. She's already doing more lines. Awesome. And if people are curious as to why I have the chats in the upper left, the people on For the Win Broadcasting don't see the chat. And if people come back to watch a video of this later, they have no idea what the hell I'm talking about or who I'm talking to. So, there you go. Oh, good. She tweeted about a week ago. That's awesome. Um, so I have a suspicion that towards Christmas, um, or maybe New Year's, we're gonna start seeing some announcements or something indicating that SWTOR is getting its first expansion. I know some people are going to be like, "Oh, it's too soon. It's too soon." But realistically speaking, why is it too soon? Because WoW has trained us that an expansion lasts 2 years. Why? I mean, just because it takes Blizzard 2 years to make an expansion, or feel as if they've gotten all they can out of that current expansion, why does that mean it has to be the standard for the rest of the industry? I think that if SWTOR came out in December of last year, that December of this year would mark 1 year, and I think an expansion, let's say February or March, with a level cap increase, 2 new raids, a new war zone, and a buttload of new companions. I think that's a fair amount of time. I mean, this is a story-based game. Um, and it's in going more than a year without any new story. I don't know if that's feasible. So, an adrenal when you need to pick me up. I won't be taking that. Yay, 38. Not mean to put that on him. All right, what do we got here? Points committed. All right. Hey, it just seems weird going that long or whatever. Yeah, the whole thing about 1.3 is they told us there was no new content, so to speak. That it's just quality of life type stuff. The whole thing is they like this is a quality of life patch, so don't expect there to be anything, new and exciting, so to speak. Just expect, the same old, but with, a better way of getting there, so to speak. That it's simpler to do the things that you kind of want to do, like instances. Like I couldn't tell you the last time I did an instance aside from yesterday. Like yesterday was the first time I had done instances in ages. So are these hard modes or multi-person? Yeah, that's a multi-person one. I think it is anyway. And I'm not gonna lie, I hate listening to alien gibberish. Like it just irritates the holy shit of me. Yeah, I think that's a 4 man or something. Yep, that's what it is. Oh well. News story now. I have no idea what Fusang is at all. No idea. Um, Unfortunately, like the Secret World is Penny is your project, and I'm living in your world. I'm just following along because it seems like fun. But yeah, I think Star Wars is doing all right. It's actually doing really well. Last night there were 3 instances of the fleet on the Harbinger, and there were 250, 275 people on each instance. I mean, that's a lot of people just on the fleet. So no telling how many people were in war zones or how many people were, on planets doing whatever. But there were a crap load of people on the fleet to the point where I actually had to turn my graphics down even lower than what they are now. No, no. All right, there it goes. So I think the game is doing all right. I think really what was bothering people and what Bioware was damned if they did and damned if they didn't was they opened up so many servers that the population, which is still a very healthy population, got spread out really freaking far. So I think more so than anything else, that was the problem.
Your old friend is alive and well. Hoth is turning our way.
Hmm.
Taking some dignity from a handful of pirates. I will break their rest and send them straight.
Hmm. I do like this quest line. Um, 4 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, there's a lot of people playing the game, which is good. It's good. I'm happy, and there's so many people crying on the forums. Yeah, we won't be listening to that. Um, but anyway, there's a lot of people playing, and there's some people on the forums, and there's always gonna be someone on the forums, crying and bitching about something, no matter what's going on. But they're saying like, "Oh God, Bioware, you guys are fail. Why? I don't want to ever have to wait in a queue to get into the game. Blah 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 blah." And that's just unrealistic. Like sometimes there's gonna be a queue. This isn't World of Warcraft. This isn't Terra. This isn't any other game but Star Wars. And sometimes there's gonna inevitably be a queue if you've got a lot of people playing. So every time there's a new patch or new content that comes out, there's gonna be people who are ready to play it, and they're going to take up some space. So you might as well get comfortable. So they're like, "Oh, it's so fail. You guys overpopulated the server," and I can agree and attest to some extent that maybe that's true. But at the same time, in the same breath, I'll turn around and say, "I don't want to wait to do an instance." So if I don't want to wait to do an instance, I have to say, "All right, well, I'm willing to have a super packed server." or you have to be willing to say, I'm willing to have cross realm or something. But there are some people you literally cannot reason with and tell them, like, you have to have, there has to be some sort of give and take, some ebb and flow. They're like, no, I want this and I want it to be perfect, and if it's not, this game is failed. And to those people, they probably still believe in Santa Claus. Bowcasters. I would like to see bowcasters. I would like there to be one thing I do have pet peeve about this game is that there's very little in the way of um, difference of weapons. Like very um, as far as once you get a orange lightsaber, it it's the same as anything else you'll ever pick up. Um, and so there's really no need or inherent push to try to get different gear, which is cool. I'm all right with that. Um, but at the same time, it removes any interest in looking for something rare and different. I think they might need to kind of go World of Warcraft's route on that and make some more exotic weapons, lightsaber whips, uh, tech blades. Like, there's no player character in the game that can use a tech blade. It's literally a companion only weapon. So maybe in the expansion they'll introduce a melee class that is not a force user that uses tech blades. That'd be nice to see. Uh oh. Uh oh. There we go. Yeah, I would like to see them add just more variety of classes, which is something they probably need to do. Which I'm hoping in the expansion or some patch in the future that they add more class buffs. And when I say that, for instance, the Marauder, when they DPS by virtue of doing DPS, they also heal the group. I mean, it's a small hot that basically goes on the whole time while they're DPSing. I'm like, that's really cool. And the Juggernaut will debuff their target. They'll go ahead and basically reduce their armor. It's Sunder armor for all intents and purposes. And I'm like, that's really good. But I think that every class should have some sort of buff or debuff that they bring to the table. And I'm even more even more so. I think that maybe specific specs should bring a better version of that. So I think there needs to be more in terms of group synergy and everyone feeling like they're contributing something extra to the group. Not just I do good DPS. That's an idea. And a bard. I would be okay if they added a imperial dancer or a cantina dancer or whatever. If they added some sort of uh, melee trooper deal. I don't know what they would be called on the Republic since they already have a trooper. But for the Empire, they could call them Imperial troopers, and they could use tech weapons, and they could be in their DPS stance. They would DPS and also they would debuff the enemy, like slow their attack speed, like inherently just do it by virtue of being there. And in their tank form, they would be just that, a tank. And then you could have the Imperial Dancer, and the Imperial Dancer in her DPS form would buff the group. She would add a special buff to the group by virtue of sitting there and doing whatever. Um, and I would inherently make their DPS less because what they're adding to the group overall is, the uh, the whole is greater than the sum of all its parts. That type of deal. I would add that, and then they would be a healer. So give them both some sort of debuff or buff, and then make them a healer and a tank, which would also solve some of the problems about people looking for healers and looking for tanks. I think there should be more differences to the classes too. I agree. I think that the classes don't feel special enough right now, that they kind of just feel like, well, I'm melee, big whoop. Like the assassin DPS compared to like the juggernaut DPS, you don't really feel any difference in the class. They play differently. I mean, to be sure, but they don't feel any different. If you're in World of Warcraft, and I hate to keep using that as the archetype, but as far as a enhancement shaman, it feels different to play an enhancement shaman than it does a hunter. Your rotation, the amount of things you're doing, it all feels different. Um, oh, I need to go up and through there. Is that a 4-man? It is. That's something that pisses me off. Paladin type. Yeah, I'd like a paladin type heal tank or whatever. That'd be cool. I mean, the assassin is kind of like that, but not really. But something to that effect. I would like to see more. I'd like to be able to make my. This sounds. This is a very minor thing, but I'd like to be able to make my buffs and debuffs bigger and move them around. Like I should be able to detach them from my HP bar and move it right here in big squares to look at and say, oh, my hot or my dot is falling off. I need to be able to reapply that. And that way they could add more dot based classes. I'd like to see a warlock, even more so than the affliction spec of the sort. I'd like to see a warlock, something that does literally nothing but dots. I would like. There's just so much more. Like I don't think there are enough classes. For the first go around, it's okay. I think 8 classes overall from both sides, and then all of the advanced classes. That's a pretty good start, but I think there needs to be more. Droid Master. That's some people keep bringing up some sort of class that doesn't rely on themselves to do DPS, but a combination of themselves and some sort of controlled pet, be it a beast master, be it a droid master, be it an engineer, somebody who basically drops down their companion or their DPS component, and then in addition to that damage, also does their own damage. Kind of like a hunter in WoW or an enhancement shaman, a warlock, something like that. Where the hell am I going? Yeah, an engineer. Yeah, I think there's a lot that they. If and the whole thing is, if I'm thinking it, or you're thinking it, my assumption is someone at BioWare has had to have had this idea already. So I think we're in good shape. I just wish they would stop being so secretive, so cloak and dagger about everything they're doing. Um, I think that would probably get a lot of people on their side, just to say, hey, we're going to tell you what we're doing as we go through the process. What the hell am I killing out here? Okay, so I just need to destroy those things. But I think that would probably get people back on their side, saying, hey, this is what we're doing. We're going to let you guys take a look at it. We're not let you guys see as we're developing our ideas. Not everything that we talk about is going to make it to the game. So tough shit. Uh, But with the community on the forums, I don't even know if that would be a good idea. I mean, there's literally no way to appease these people. Like, there's nothing you can say that makes them happy. Pawsuits, huge. The class names. Yeah, you got to make them Star Wars. Yeah, I give you that. I and I have got to find a. I've always hated this quest right here. This has been God. It's been such a pain in the ass to find these little. I mean, there's like 9 little boxes over the course of this entire place. So, what would you call a paladin? I don't know. You could call it an Imperial Trooper. I mean, give them a vibro blade. Not a vibro blade, but logging into selected server. There we go. But yeah, they could do a lot. Absolutely, positively a lot with the game if they were willing to fidget with it. I don't know how else to explain it. Black screen. Uh oh. Uh oh. It makes me sad. All right. Apparently, I need to restart